another table, which looks like this. Okay, so we do a quick one. Can anyone just type their answer? Just type their answer if you know like the first one for the midpoint. 11. Okay, I'll just give you guys 2 minutes to do it. By the way, do you guys have graph paper? Anyone do have a graph paper? Oh, Shuchi, can you share the digital graph paper to them?
Oh, sure. Wait a minute. Class, since we are going to draw some graph after this, so we would like to know that how much people in this class is they got graph paper and how much didn't have the graph paper. So can I ask that if someone who have graph paper, can you raise your hands up? Just raise your hand. Yeah. In the reactions there, you can press the raise hand button. Oh, all right. Thank you. So for those who didn't have the graph papers, you can use the graph paper that I provide in the chat. Yeah.
So you get the answer right. So what's the midpoint for 13 to 15 years? Don't be shy, just type your answer. Okay, I won't scold you if you get it wrong. It's okay. Oh, that's right. It's 14. And next. Jai is okay. It's 14. But so I'll show. Okay, 17. Next is 20. And then 33. Yep, correct. So lower boundary will be 9.5, 12.5, 15.5, 18.5, 21.5, and the upper boundary will be 12.5, 15.5, 18.5, 21.5, and 24.5. So a quick tips here, and the upper boundary is same as the second lower boundary, okay? So you can get the upper boundary very fast, just like you just put the second lower boundary to the first upper boundary. Okay. So now here's the graph. Like, since you guys get the data set, can you guys just draw a graph and send a link? You guys need how long to complete the graph? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, or 4 minutes? Or you can just tell me when you finish the graph, and if you want us to mark your graph, you can send it through the Google form, okay? If you're finished the graph or still drawing, so how about the others? Can- Okay, so I'll go through a graph for you all. So first you have to put the lower boundary and upper boundary, and the data is 3. You just put a horizontal line, and then you just put another upper boundary. You just put another upper boundary and then like just put it to the right side. Yeah. And then put draw a horizontal line according to the frequency, and don't forget to write your x-axis and wait, okay. So it's very important to write the y-axis and the x-axis and plot the graph correctly. And the most important thing is remember to write the title of the graph. Some of the teacher will deduct your marks if you didn't write the title. So yeah, please remember. So this is the second graph you have to draw, which is the frequency polygon. So I have to add one class interval before, but the frequency is equal to 0, and you have to find the midpoint, and then we just call it and draw a straight line in between the midpoint. So we're doing the same thing, have to find a midpoint, lower boundary, and upper boundary, and I'll give you guys 4 minutes. I think you guys are quite fast. Just 3 minutes is enough lah. So just 3 minutes and just finish table for me, okay? Okay, now we have to move on to the next one. Yeah, this one will be the correct one for frequency polygon. You just have to find the frequency and the midpoint. I think the frequency will just be the same, but you have to take some time to find the midpoint. So I think 2 minutes will be enough. So I just fill in the frequency for you all. Okay, it's almost time, so I'll just go through the midpoint with you guys, which is 62, 67, 72, 77, 82, and 87. You guys can get this figure, right? Anyone can get it? Can you just comment, or if you can get it, just raise your hand. Just give me some reaction.
Oh, there's someone raised their hand. Oh, Harry, may I know which figure you don't get it? It's okay because we all is in the learning progress.
No, it's okay. I just got it now.
So you can get it right. Okay, can you guys just draw a graph using this set of data, and I'll give you guys like 4 minutes because it's just a very short graph. It's a frequency polygon, and I'll show you the example, okay? Once you have done, you can just type 1 in the chat box, okay? Okay, so now we just go through the graph again, okay? Okay, first, title or y-axis and the x-axis. And our first midpoint is 32. But we have to write the midpoint before it, which is 57. It's not like the histogram, we just start from our self data, but in this frequency polygon, we have to start from 0. So the midpoint before the 2 is 57, so we have to write 57 and just continue with the midpoint. And then we also have to end at 0, so we have to find the midpoint after the delta, which is 92. So if you guys want us to check your graph, can just send it to the Google form and we will reply you via email. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about the shape of distribution. It's just only 4 shape. So this is the bell shape because it just looks like a bell. And this is the uniform shape because it's quite flat. And then last two will be the right square and the left square because here is the left and here's the right. So you can see like the left hand side be more taller, so it will be the right skew, and the left skew will be more taller on the, oops, so sorry. It will be more taller at the right hand side, so it like it has a slope like going down to the left, so it's the left skew. Okay, so next I'll pass to Suching and she'll be teaching the ogive. Suching, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, just stop sharing.
Yeah. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yes.
All right. And now I'm going to teach about 7.1c, which is ogive. So what is ogive? Ogive is normally looks like this picture right here. It is a graph with only one line, and it is always an S-shaped curve like that. Okay, so we'll learn on how to construct an ogive, and in it, we'll use the ogive to calculate for the quartile and percentile, and we'll see for this after in my slide. So first, how to construct an ogive. So first, we should add one class before the first class with a 0 frequency. A 0 frequency means that the graph is actually start from a 0 frequency. It is start from 0. You cannot leave it like flying the sky, and the line should be start with touching the x-axis. And second, you should find the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency for each class. So why should we find the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency? Because C.2, choose an appropriate scale on the vertical axis to represent the cumulative frequencies and the horizontal axis to represent the upper boundaries. What does this mean? So it means that like this is a graph. Okay, so your vertical axis your vertical axis, your y-axis here will become the cumulative frequency. And your horizontal axis, the below here, is the upper boundary. So it means that at first you have to find for the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency so they can construct the graph, the right ogive graph. Okay, so how to find for the cumulative frequency and also the upper boundaries? Just now we have already taught you on how to find them. Okay, so number 3, you should plot the cumulative frequency with the corresponding upper boundary, and then you should draw a smooth curve passing through all the points. So you should draw a smooth curve. After you plot, let's say it should start with the x-axis, right? After you plot, and you should draw a really smooth curve. And this smooth curve should pass through all the points given, and it should be freehand. You cannot draw with any like ruler or anything, and it seems straight like that, then the curve is exactly wrong. You should draw it with freehand, and it is a smooth curve. All right? Okay, so we'll proceed. Okay, so now we are going to draw an ogive. Let's say this is the questions be given. Yeah, let's say this is the questions be given in, this is the table be given in questions. It only gives you a short content in the foot and it gives you something like that. So what is missing in this table? What is missing? If you want to construct an ogive, so what should have more in this table? This table is actually not complete to draw an ogive yet. Okay. So what is missing? Do you guys have any ideas? What should you add on? Which components should you add into this table so that it is suitable, it can be used to draw an ogive? Did you guys have any idea? You can type in the chat box. Not really midpoint, because midpoint is not necessary in drawing an ogive. Just memorize that what I've taught you in the previous slide from here. Yeah. So we can see that from here, if you want to plot the graph, then we will need cumulative frequency and the upper boundary, right? So these two is missing. And what more is missing? You can see on the first point here, we need to add one class before the first class with a 0 frequency. So this is missing. We have to add one more class into it with a frequency of 0. So what will be the class? What will be the class be like? It is from what number to what number? Can anyone type in the chat box? The graph, the class should be following this sequence. So what will the class be? Hello? Did anyone have any idea? We have to add one class before it with a 0 frequency, right? So what is the class? From how much milligram to how much milligram? If you are shy to type it to everyone, you can also private message me. Yeah, Heron is right. It should be 50 to 99. Okay, and you should add a cumulative frequency here and also upper boundary here. So the table will be like something like that. Okay, so you have the class with a 0 frequency. Then you have add the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency. And now you just need to calculate for all of it. So guys, now you can calculate for the upper boundary and also the cumulative frequency. I'll give you some time to calculate for it. If you are done, you can raise your hand. Yeah, so, and also if you didn't know how to actually calculate for the upper boundary or the cumulative frequency, you can also directly ask in the chat, or you can PM me too. Yes, Harry. Yeah, you are done. Okay. How about others like Wanjun, Jaden, and Mikal? How about y'all? Guys? All right. All right, and now I need someone to give me the answers for the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency. Can anyone unmute yourself and just say out the answer? Wanchen, can you unmute yourself? Hi.
Is it
Hello.
9
Yeah,
point?
yeah. I'm sorry, can you repeat?
99.5.
Yeah. 99.5. And what about the below one? Just proceed for all the open boundary.
149.5.
Good. And next,
199.5.
next.
Two hundred and 49.5.
Yeah. And
299.5. 349.5.
and
399.5.
all right, nice. Good job. And all right. All right, and Wanjun, can you mute yourself and tell me the? Oh, I'm so sorry. And Harin, can you mute yourself and tell me about the cumulative frequency?
Is it 4?
The first one.
Yes.
The first one is 4. Are you sure? It is not 4. The first one, you should see this. So the cumulative frequency will be?
0.
Yeah, 0. And how about the second one?
Is it 4?
Yeah, this is 4. And the third one? Yeah, 15. And
then it's 30.
how much?
30.
30. Yeah, you are right. It's 30 and
51.
51 and
59.
59 and
50.
yeah, you're right. So this will be the upper boundary and the cumulative frequency. Okay. All right, and now we're going to draw an ogive, and I will show you guys on how to draw an ogive. Wait a minute. All right. Can you see my screen right now? So I'll show you on how to draw an ogive. So first you should write.
Shiqing, can you please share your screen again because I cannot see your screen.
Oh, cannot see it. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like that? Can see or not?
I'm sorry, I still cannot see. How about the other?
Oh wait, I share it one more time. Wait. Oh. Can?
Still cannot see.
Cannot see. Oh my gosh.
No problem. You may send your file to me, and I can help you to share the screen.
But I should just draw it directly.
Okay, maybe.
How about? Let me try. Cannot.
Still cannot.
All right, I think something going wrong. It cannot share the Microsoft whiteboard. Like, yeah, because
Oh, what
now
about you choose the share your whole screen? The setting.
I tried to share my whole screen, but it also cannot.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, you just need the whiteboard, right?
Yeah, the graph paper with the yeah. Can you like the whiteboard also can? And then
Okay.
how about like that? Wait.
Okay. You see it?
Oh yeah, this is it.
But there's no graph paper at here. Yeah. Guys, do you know how to draw the ogive actually? Let me think. Wait. Can you?
Okay, so from my view, there is a view option on the top in the Zoom, and there's this annotate button.
Yeah. I know. I can try. So, like, I'm going to draw the graph right now. So this will be a straight line, okay? So you're going to draw two lines with this will be your upper boundary. I'm sorry, who is that mic? Yeah. So this will be your cumulative frequency. And this will be your upper boundary. And wait. And you just draw like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 over here. And also your upper boundary that is calculated just now. And because I have no any the graph here for me to sketch, so I wish that you can sketch it yourself, and it will be start at here, and you just join all your lines, and it will be something like that. It will be a curved graph. Yeah. So if you're too done, just tell me. Yeah. Yeah, and if you have any problem, you can just type in the chat box. I'm so sorry because I can't share the graph paper. If not, I can draw the whole or give for your. Really, I'm so sorry. So guys, are you done with the graph drawing? If you're done, you can raise your hands up. Yeah. All right, nice. And now I'll proceed. Jane, can you stop your screen sharing? Can I share my PowerPoint? Yeah.
Okay, I just stop.
Can see or not this PowerPoint? Hi.
Cannot.
Really? Oh my gosh. Okay.
What about your rejoin this meeting?
Rejoin.
Yep.
Wait, actually, if one, Jane, do you have my slide? Can you help me to share it or?
Okay, wait, try to find it.
I'm so sorry for the technical issue. I also don't know what happened with my computer. Yeah. So please wait for a minute. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Can or not? Or I leave first and I rejoin.
I think I can just share screen.
I can't share the screen at all. Please wait for a minute. I rejoin for a while, please. Oh, can or not? Yeah.
It's like
Okay, so we are proceed to the quartiles. So quartiles for group data, quartiles is for group data with number of data n. The quartiles can be determined from the ogive. Quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3 are the values that correspond to the cumulative n over 4, n over 2, and 3n over 4. So oh gosh, can I annotate? Oh gosh, I can't annotate. I'm so sorry. Is there any problem going? Wait. I rejoined for a while. I'm so sorry. I rejoined for a while.
think you guys can just share your graph, or you can just send the graph to the Google form, then we can mark it for you for the meanwhile.
Hi, can be seen or not? My screen.
Yes, can see.
Yes, right. Oh,
Yes.
finally. Oh, okay. So now we're going to proceed to quartile. So quartiles is for group data with number of data n, and the quartiles can be determined from the ogive. So quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3 are the values that correspond to the cumulative frequency n/4, n/2, and 3n/4 respectively. Let's say this is your ogive, okay? So the n will be like your number of data, like having number of data of 60. So 3/4n will be the 3/4n when you link it to the ogive here and you correspond it to the number over here, and this will be your quartile 3. All right, and same goes to n/2 is actually when you link it to here and it will be your quartile 2, and n/4 it will be your quartile 1. So have to link it to this ogive and you bring it downward and you bring it down, and you will see what is the number over here, and this number will represent your data. Okay, so this is why your ogive should be in a really smooth curve. So because you need it to be smooth so that you can link it to the right amount. So if in exam, they will let you to have, like, let's say the exam, the quartile, he call you to find for the quartile 2, quartile 3, and the quartile 3 they will find is 43.4, and the exam, the answer given is like 43, then it will normally accept plus minus 0.5. This is normally. So if you find 43.4, then it is still can be accepted, right? But the range is really small, so you should always remember that your ogive should be really smooth so that you can find the correct answer. All right, let me give you an example. Wait. Let's say the n over here is 60. So the first step you should find for, let's say I want you to find for the quartile 1. So the first step, you should take this 60 and you over it by 4 and you'll get 15, right? So the 15, you should find the 15 over here. Let's say this is 15, and you just connect it to this graph and you bring it down. So this will be your quartile 1. So this variable, let's say it is x, so quartile 1 will be equal to x. And the same will goes to the others. And there's one thing you have to note here, that is quartile 2 is actually equal to median. So if the questions ask for median, then it means that it is finding for the quartile 2. It is because median means in the middle, right? So in the middle, like this amount, in the middle, it should be 30. So how do you find the 30? It is 60/2, right? So 60/2 is same to quartile 2. It is n/2. So n/2, quartile 2 is equal to the median. When it asks you to find for the median, it means that it asks you to find for the quartile 2. Okay? And now we're going to proceed to percentile. Percentile is something a bit same like the quartile, but it is still something different. Percentile, we can analyze a large data more easily and more effectively when we divide the data into small parts, which is known as percentile. So a percentile, it is divided into 100 equal parts. And it is represented by P1, P2, and P3. So let's say for this question, let's say it asks you to find for P20. What does this mean? It means that you have to find for the 20% of the total frequency. So from this graph, you can observe that the most peak is over here, right? So it is n equal to over here. So it is n equal to 50, right? So n equal to 50, what is the 20% of the 50? How do you find it? So it should be like you get this 50 and you times by 20%, which is 20 over 100, and you get the value. What is the value? Class, what is the value? Can you type in the chat box? What would be the value of 20% of the 50? Anyone? Guys, what is 20% of the 50? Hello? Yeah, you're right. It is 10, right? So you just find the 10 on your y-axis, which will be here. This is the 10, and you bring it to the curve over here, and you touch it and you go it down. So it intersects at this point, and this will be your P20. You just need to find for the value at here. So for this question, what is the P20? So the P20 over here should be 52.5. All right. So it same goes with the others. If it asks you to find for the P99, you also get 50 times 99 over 100, and you get the amount here, and you find it in here, and you just draw a line to touch the ogive, and you bring it down, and where does it intersect will means that what is that percentile. Okay, did anyone have any questions? If no, then I'm going to proceed. All right. Okay, so this is what I've said just now, with the same thing goes over here. You just find for it like this. This is finding for P10. What is the P10 of the 50? So you get 50 times 10 over 100, and you get 5, right? So you find the 5 over here, and see, it brings the lines along, and it touches the ogive, and it brings it down, and he find for the value here, which is 46.5. So it means that P10 is equal to 46.5. And this is an example where I take it from your mathematics textbook. So if you still can't understand so clearly, you can also refer to your textbook. All right. So I'm going on to the next. So I'm going to cumulative histogram. So just now you have learned what is histogram, and cumulative histogram is actually something is same with histogram, but it is just cumulative. So cumulative histogram and ogive can be constructed using cumulative frequency table. Cumulative histogram is constructed just like histogram, but the vertical axis is represented by the cumulative frequency. So just now, when you learn the histogram, your y-axis over here will be frequency only, right? It will be frequency only. So what you construct might be tall and might be tall and short. But when it is cumulative frequency, you'll see that it is only going up. It will never come down. Never. It is only going up because it is accumulate. The number is actually accumulate, so it is keep increasing only. It will never go down. It will just go up. Okay. So this is the cumulative histogram where you use the cumulative frequency to construct it rather than using the frequency anymore. So when you see when they are bind together, this is an ogive. This pink color line is an ogive, and this pink over here should be your cumulative histogram. So when they are drawn together, you can see that, oh, yeah, actually something intersects in this way. They are sharing the same upper boundary, and they are all keep increasing. Okay, and the ogive is also same. It will start from the x-axis with a 0 frequency over here. Okay, did anyone have any problem? If no, then I'm going to proceed to the exercise. All right, and we'll go to the exercise. Again, the frequency table on the below shows the length for 48 of fishes caught in a pond. Construct an ogive to represent the data. From ogive, you should determine the same thing, the first quartile, the median, which is also known as quartile 2, and the third quartile. And from here, this is the data given, and you should use this data to construct an ogive. So it is same over here. What is missing over here is also the same. It means a class over here, and it means a cumulative frequency and also an upper boundary, so that you should construct 2 more columns over here with a cumulative frequency and also an upper boundary, so that you can use this value given to construct an ogive. Okay, so this will be the second questions. And this question and these 2 questions are the questions that I give 2 of you as homework, and Jane can help me to send the Google Form links. Yeah, and you can actually, if you want the answers and you want to make sure that whether your graph is drawn in the correct way, then you can actually send it in, you can pass it to me in the form of the Google Drive that we'll provide in the chat box after this. Yeah. And this is the 2 answers. This is the 2 questions, I'm so sorry. And the same goes with these questions. You should have all of that I mentioned just now. And in this question, you're going to find for the 20th percentile, 60th percentile, and the 80th percentile. So I give you some times, and you can maybe screenshot this, and you can do it after this. Oh, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, then you can actually ask it right now. So today we have already provided 2 Google Forms link to you all. So the first Google Form link, it is you all can pass up the first 2 graphs that you have drawn, which is the histogram and the frequency polygon, and you can pass up and to Jane, and Jane will mark them for you and will pass then back to you via your Gmail. Yeah, and this will be the or drive one, and you can also draw it and pass it to me via the Google form, the second Google form given. Yeah, and we'll mark it for you too in about 1 week, and we'll pass it to you. And yeah, if we will write down our comments so you can improve your graph. And now I'll provide you the answers of the B1, which you can actually check it after this to see whether you are finding the answers correctly. This will be 29. So after you draw your ogive, you can find for the percentile and also the quartile and see whether it is right. Yeah, it can have a little bit difference, but it should not have too much difference. Like about 0.5 is okay. Okay, do you all capture it? I'm going to proceed since the time is going to pass, is going to end. Yeah, you can capture it and you can save the link given in the chat box so that you can send your work to me. Okay, if you are all done, then I'll proceed. Can you raise your hand if you are finished capture? Yeah, all right, nice. Then we'll go. So I'm going to do a really quick revision on what we have learned today. So today we have learned 3 graphs, which is the histogram and the frequency polygon, and also the ogive. So you should remember on how to draw these 3 different graphs because they are all totally looks different. So the histogram is something like that, which they will all stick together, and it may be high and low. So for this part, you should write for the frequency, and for this part will be like for the for what given the questions. And it is normally we will write with upper boundary over here. Yeah. So for frequency polygon, this part for the y-axis, we also write for frequency. We also use frequency as y-axis, and the x-axis we will use midpoint. So ogive, so a frequency polygon, it will look something like that. And you should remember that, oh, I'm so sorry. You should remember that it will always begin with 0 and it will end with 0. So you should add the 0 frequency class before and after. Okay, and the ogive, the y-axis will be cumulative frequency, and the x-axis will be upper boundary. Okay, so it is only a line graph like that. Okay, so this is the tree that you should remember how to draw. And for this chapter, chapter 7, it is actually a quite simple chapter, which we will usually use to have a high score. We will usually use this part to score very high in our exam, so we can get a good results. So because it is just graph drawing and it didn't require any much more calculation. Okay, so I hope that you all can really understand what we have teach today, and you all can really use it in the exam. Okay, and the third is you should remember to really do more exercise to, like, especially for the ogive, to make sure that you have a really smooth curve, so that when you are doing the calculation for the quartiles and percentiles, you will not make any mistakes and you will not have a value which is far away from the answer given. Okay, like also you should do the exercise for histogram and frequency polygon, and you should make sure you know how to draw them. Okay, so this is a tips given, and we come to the end. Do you two have any questions? Any more questions? So I think I hope that you all can really understand what we have teach today. Okay, and that's all for today. Thank you, guys. Oh yeah, remember to see the chat box for the Google Forms, and you all can pass up the homework for us. Yeah.